Where am I? Welcome to heaven, my friend. The heart of the art gallery. I know this place well, and yet I'm overwhelmed by the feeling that something is wrong. Why am I here? Knowing there's no way I could have somehow slipped underground, I can't figure out how I got here. There's no sign that the raging flames have reached here yet. Flames? No, wait. I must be... The fire. Right. We escaped the fire. The flames that destroyed the school, the dorms, the Christmas tree, and everyone we knew. I escaped, but how did I get here? There's a gap in my memories. The piece of the puzzle that connects the last thing I remember with where I am now is missing. Suddenly, I realize... June, she's there, floating in the sky. Somehow, her panties aren't showing. So, you know, at least there's a bit more class than in her first CG. Scritto, intermezzo William Tell. I didn't know how to pronounce half of that sentence. Motherfucker! You're Yune, right? The question spills from my lips as I'm thrown off by the alien glow that surrounds her. The shining aura around her forms a beautiful silhouette that's shaped like Yune, without retaining any of her characteristics. The beauty of her profile as she gazes upwards reminds me of our fortuitous first meeting, her unblinking, ephemeral expression reminiscent of an exquisite sculpture. She was a work of fine art, depicting the type of beauty that not only stops time, but lives outside of it. And yet... Sound of her voice, the same as always, instantly wipes the mystical memory of her from my mind. I feel sad, yet full of warmth. I'm awake? What do you mean? I was asleep? I'm immediately suspicious, unable to remember anything she says I was doing. Nothing makes sense, but I realize she's not to blame. She's not to blame here. What are we doing here? We died in that fire. I can't forget the images of destruction seared into my memory. It wasn't a dream. I can still feel the scorching heat on my skin from what must have been seconds before. So, 私たちは、私たちだけじゃない。町のみんなは、あの火に巻き込まれて、建物も燃えて、逃げ場なんてなかった。私も覚えてる。So, we somehow managed to escape to the art gallery? The gallery is underground. Perhaps too far underground for the flames to reach. 違うよ。ほら、いつもの週だったら突っ込むところ、まだ突っ込めてないよ。It's all true. There's no way she can be here without me. It seems rude to try to make light of the situation. Are you floating? そ
種も仕掛けもないよ。これは本当に浮いてるの。
I tried telling you. Oh, yeah. She's giggling delightedly, like a small child, as she waves her arms and legs around. As I struggle to figure out if this is some kind of trick, or what exactly it means.
それにね。
Whoa, Yune jump scare.
すごいでしょ。
Yune suddenly vanishes, only to appear a moment later right in front of me. Here is definitely the right word. My mind is unable to comprehend the speed of her movement. Am I dreaming?
私は週よりもちょっと早起きだったから、いろいろと調べたんだけど、どうもここは普通の世界じゃないみたい。
How is it different?
週もこれ食べればわかると思う。
With that, she hands something to me. Oh, of course it's an apple. Look, all I'm saying, Dexter, that if you want another hour, you just need to, you know. It's an apple. One of the pair we'd eaten on the day so long ago. On that day so long ago. And that's why they're the only two in the art gallery, aka Heaven? I still don't know what it is. Is this the same apple from before?
少なくとも本物のリンゴだよ。
Her special apple ornaments had become real after we hung them on the Christmas tree. Why the sudden change of heart? I don't know. Maybe it's because a big thing happened that fucking... almost like the world was destroyed. I don't know. You tell me. The fruit in my hand looks identical. Also, it's close to the choices, right? You told me that that the choices neither happened before, during, or after Christmas. So, it's this time.
赤いリンゴもあったけど、そっちは私が一口食べたら消えちゃった。だから、シュウは青リンゴね。
Whenever time it is. This is the same one I ate before. It's not necessarily a pleasant memory. Honestly, it's not even a memory at all. All I recall is how bizarre it was.
じゃあほら、早く食べて食べて。そうすれば全部わかるから。
Oh, okay. I can't make heads or tails out of what's going on. At the very least, I know this is somehow the exact same apple from before. The two apples that fell from the Christmas tree on the first day of Advent. All I know for sure is that Yune ate the red apple, and I ate the green one. Nothing bad will happen, right? The sparkle in her eyes urges me on. Having already eaten it once before, there's no point in turning it down now. Nom. I take a bite and countless memories flash through my mind, like a bolt of lightning. What's happening to me? I understand now why she wanted me to do it. Nothing made sense before, but the first bite opened my eyes. Are we in some alternate reality?
そうみたい。美術回廊の景色にはなってるけど、絵みたいなものだと思う。
As soon as I took a bite, my mind was filled with an understanding of the world around me. We're in some sort of subspace, similar to a lot of ways to the reality we were once in, and yet very different. Oh, the apple's gone.
でも分かったでしょ？
I understand. Or rather, the knowledge was shoved into my brain. It was as if someone had copied an entire textbook of information and pasted it into my brain. At the very least, I have a pretty good idea of what sort of place this is. A dimension outside of space and time. You might say it's structured differently. The space we're in has been made specifically for us, like some sort of parallel pocket dimension. No way. This can't be. This is way too crazy. Nowhere inside the gallery, the art gallery.
ギャラリーだけどいつものギャラリーじゃないよ。そんなことシュウはもう分かってるでしょ？
I keep telling you, you're in heaven. I know it's not. I know it's not. This place exists in a different space, filled with some kind of holy energy. But there aren't any holes. -2. My brain has been force-fed with the information I need to understand exactly where I am, whether I like it or not. All because I took a bite from the green apple.
シュウだって浮こうと思えば浮けるし飛べるよ。ここだとすごくイメージ通りに体が動く。
You're right. It's really working. Whatever I imagine just happens, exactly the way I picture it in my mind. The ease with which I can control everything, like playing a video game, is slightly terrifying. Well, you know, people who play visual novels don't really play video games the same way as normal people do. So, I mean, they say seeing is believing, but this goes beyond that. I can't not believe it. I can't not believe. We're in a complete different reality.
だから今の私たちがあの火災に巻き込まれることはないってこと。
But it means we can't interfere with what's going on either. Being in an alternate reality means we exist on a parallel yet separate timeline. All we can do is watch the tragic tale unfold from afar, unable to do anything to stop it. I still don't understand how we got here in the first place.
あれ？それはわからないの？
Do you? She seems honestly surprised. While the apple taught me the intricacies of how this reality works, I still have no idea how it came to be or how I got here.
私たちがここにいるのはね。
She explains to me everything she learned from the red apple. I finally understand why she seems so detached from her emotions.
やり直すためだよ。
A second chance? Even before the words leave my lips, I grasp the meaning behind them.
どうしてこんなことが起こるの？やめてよ。返してよ。私、もっとお祈りするし、頑張るから。
In the midst of that catastrophic scenario, all she wanted was the chance to try again. Seeing the look of hope on her face, there's only one conclusion I can draw from her words. A second chance to stop it from happening?
大正解。
An act of God had decimated the town. The facts are undeniable, even from where we stand. All we can do from here, from where we are, is hope for the best. Is something like that even possible?
できるって赤リンゴは言ってた。
It seems that the information we can learn differs depending on the apple's color.
ほら、これって何か思い出すでしょ？ あのリンゴがさ、私たちにやり直す力をくれたんだよ。
Listen, I've read my fair share of regression manhwa. I know exactly how this turns out, alright? Her smile is almost blindingly bright, reminding me so much of the Yune I've come to know. The ability to turn back time at any point. You want to alter your own fate? Similar to a girl we're both very familiar with. The girl who jumped through time. Wow, I never would have guessed. Fuck it. I can't believe they actually referenced... I can't believe they actually referenced the fucking movie they watched.
そう、私たちはあの日にリンゴを食べてアンナになったんだよ。
My mind turns back to the movie we watched in class. Seems as if we've somehow found ourselves in a similar predicament.
私たちの町を守るために、もう一度アドベントをやり直すの。
Except that it doesn't end up with the main girl getting dating the boy. It ends up with the main girl watching the guy date another girl, Kyrie, because that's the first choice. That's the first route.
だから私たちはここへ来た。時間を巻き戻して未来を変えるために。
It's clear she's made up her mind to do this. We're not too far gone for her to lie about any of this, and honestly, knowing I'm in this reality is enough for me to accept anything I'm told.
ねえシュウ、あの日町に起こったのは何だと思う？
Rapture. Go to the guide. I'll get to the choices first. What? Those raging fires, a natural disaster, an accident? All of them seem to fit, and yet I have a feeling the real answer is something much different. That horrific scene triggered some deeper understanding. In my opinion, there's nothing less than the end of the world.
私も101年前に起こったのはこういうことなのかなって思った。
パンドラの箱が開けられたのですよ。天使のラッパとともに7つの封印が解かれ、馬は最悪をもたらし、大地が揺れ、星が落ち、人々は死に絶えたと。
You gotta be fucking kidding me. The 7 trumpets are the fucking trumpets that they played throughout the entire day. Oh my fucking god. What's the angels? What are the angels in this analogy, alright? Because of course the 4 horsemen are the horses that escaped or whatever. Oh. Bro, this game is cooked. I remember shortly after I arrived here, Sister Lily had told me about the apocalypse, the end of the world. That was what we witnessed, albeit on a smaller scale. What do you think caused all of those fires?
だからそれも探らなくちゃいけない。それが私たちにしかできないことだから。
This is our second chance. He seems to understand the situation perfectly, but having only eaten from the green apple, I'm struggling to keep up. You're saying you can control time?
それが赤リンゴの効果みたい。言ったでしょ、アンナだって。今の私ならそれができるって。
Of course you
わかる
can.
の。
Why? How come Yune got the overpowered apple? Fuck you. Shu only got his memories? Bro, that's nothing compared to being able to turn back time. Time travel, not just on this timeline, but on the one we came from. I realize we're only able to access this otherwise impossible power due to the forbidden apples. It really does feel like we're in that movie. It's kind of funny thinking how something so ridiculous could happen in real life. Yeah, I know, right? This is real life. It's unbelievable. And yet, even as the thought crosses my mind, I realize it's not that extraordinary. It's not that extraordinary. Because we ate from the apple. Regardless of how those seemingly separate incidents are linked, the situation we find ourselves in seems unreal, unbelievable. This must be a dream or a hallucination. That's the most rational, sane explanation. And yet, if I had to describe this fabricated reality in one word, if I were to paint this mythical landscape on canvas, what would I call it?
奇跡。
Yune mumbles the word under her breath, as if able to read my thoughts word for word.
これは神様がくれた奇跡なんじゃないかな。
Her smile, more dazzling than any precious jewel, hints at the future that promises to be just as bright.
というわけ、わかった？
But not really, no. We'll be able to take the whole world back in time, right? Yeah. Not just ourselves.
そうそう。
The whole scenario is completely illogical. Considering how convinced she is, all I can do for now is go along with it. We have a second chance to change our future.
もう完全にアンナの世界だよね。私、それはちょっと嬉しいかも。
She's always been a huge fan of the movie and the character. I can't deny that I'm a bit delighted by the idea myself. We have to decide what day we should start from.
私たちが最初にあのリンゴを食べた日、12月2日だね。
So that's what she meant by starting over. Our bodies will go back in time, but our memories will remain intact. That will give us 23 days between the start of Advent and the cataclysmic Christmas. Hannah was only given 3 days to net a boyfriend, but considering the difference between our ultimate goals, it makes sense we'd be given more time. Yeah, getting a girlfriend is only a byproduct of what we're doing.
その23日間であの原因を突き止めて止める。簡単でしょ？
Yeah, easy. Easier said than done. This is clearly not a simple case of arson, considering the crazy way those fires spread. We simply don't have enough pieces to even begin to imagine what caused them, accidental or otherwise.
でも当然、他のみんなはそのことを知らない。だから、教えてあげなくちゃいけない。私たちはさ、ノアになるんだよ。町が神様に滅ぼされないように、箱舟を作るの。
Is that why the chapter name was called Noel? Noah's Ark. A story Sister Lily regaled us with once during morning assembly, and one of the most famous tales from the Old Testament.
大洪水が起こることを示されたノアは、神の言われた通り、箱舟を作ります。
Look, I know that every story that Sister Lily talked about was just another Chekhov's gun, but you know, I would not have been able to predict that this is how it was going to be used as an analogy.
しかしながら民は、そんなノアを見て笑います。世界が滅ぶ大洪水など、誰も信じてはくれません。
Who had Noah?
ノアは結局誰にも信じてもらえなかったけど、私たちはみんなを説得しなくちゃいけない。
We have to do better.
もちろんあんな火事を起こさないのが一番だけど。
I thought God promised to never send another flood to destroy humanity. Well, it wasn't a flood, so technically he's not wrong. Granted, this was fire, not a flood. Told you. Since we're dealing with fire, a giant ark isn't going to do much.
逆にこっちが水を用意すればいいのかな。
Isn't going to do good. If those fires were so massive, all the water in the world couldn't make a dent. The ridiculousness of these hypothetical scenarios suddenly snaps me back to reality.
まだ信じられない？
To tell you the truth, the whole concept of time travel, especially coming from someone so infatuated with Anna and what she can do, all of this is simply too far-fetched. All we did was eat some apples, some strange apples, but still.
しょうがないな。じゃあ実際にやってみれば納得するよね。
That would definitely help, but is that truly possible? In the unspoken question in my eyes, Yushine winks at me, as if to say, just you wait. Yune suddenly screws up her face, squeezing her eyes shut tightly. Are you okay?
なんだろう、今力を貯めてる。
On what?
力を貯めてその反動でシューを遠くに飛ばすみたいな。
Is that how it works?
だからあの日に戻るための。
So in other words, you're charging up?
なんて言ったらいいかな。そうだ、弓を射るみたいにこうギューって引っ張ってパッて離す感じ。
So you're the bow in this analogy?
そう私本物の弓なんて見たことないけど。
Right. He describes it in a way that makes sense to me. Yuna has to pull herself tight enough to propel us back through time. You pull back on your bowstring as far as you can, and then send us flying.
そう、そんな感じ。つまり私は今キューピッドなのだ。
This is definitely not what I was expecting. The words that barely left her lips when she suddenly transformed into an angel. Anything is possible, huh? Bro is not Love Miel. There was a fire alarm. Something's being set on fire. Okay, it's fine now. Her description of herself as some metaphorical bow seems almost to prove that we really are in an alternate reality. The way she describes this power that only she has access to is so uniquely Yune that I find myself unable to doubt her. This entire situation is so far removed from anything I've ever experienced before. The apples must offer different powers. You don't say.
かもね。私はこうして弓を引くためにここにいるみたい。
That makes sense. As long as we exist in this timeline, we're unable to change anything in our original reality. The space we're in is like a form of purgatory, a waiting area between times and worlds. If the red apple grants the ability to travel through time, what does the green apple do? Nothing. It gives you your memories back. That's it. Not only that, but she knew right away her powers were the result of eating the red apple. I can't perceive any change in myself other than the ability to exist in this other reality. I hesitate to ask Yune for help in understanding what's changed about me, as she clearly tries to focus. It's no big deal. We can discuss our plan of action, and the apples once we're back in the real world. Back to the real world. If we end up not being able to return, and the world ends regardless, then it won't matter anyway. Right now, waiting is the best thing I can do. Is it working?
もうちょっと。あと少しで23日分を引っ張れそうな気がする。
Her words are incredibly vague, but it seems to be the best way she can describe how it feels. She seems to be staring off at some distant point in the past, her mind focused harder than ever on charging up. Playing off her bow and arrow analogy, there's nothing I can do to help pull her taut, so I simply watch and wait. Still, I wonder why we're in the art gallery. Not wanting to disturb Yune's focus, my eyes slightly wander around the surrounding paintings. The surrounding paintings. Aside from the odd glow enveloping everything, nothing seems different. Then, at that moment...
シュウ先生、この絵は？
I don't.
おい先生、じゃあこれは？
I have no clue. Picasso maybe? Or Van Gogh?
もう、先生なのに全然わかってないんですね。
Look, it's not my fault. I don't know anything about art.
それにしても、シュウ先生はなんだか本当に友達のような気がしちゃうね。
This is trippy, bro. I am 1 year younger than you after all.
ほらほら、シュウ先生、あっちも行きましょう。
Fine. I hear you. Huh? Yeah, that didn't happen. we never went down here with all 4 of them. What was that? Hey, Yune, did you just... She's never called me Mr. Shu before. I turned to ask her about it. Her eyes suddenly snapped wide open. And then... Oh! Why were there 3 O's? Apparently she's charged and ready to go, although she doesn't look any different from earlier.
いける。これはいけるよ。12月2日に戻れる。ごめん、シュウ。なんか言った？
It's nothing. More importantly, you're really ready?
今パッて話せば絶対戻れる。
He seems pretty confident. As for what I heard, I'm sure I imagined it. This includes me too, right? Just checking.
もち。
Her warm, reassuring smile reminds me of that long ago day when she thanked me for playing the organ for her.
一緒に来て、シュウ。私一人じゃ不安だから。
Sure, no one could. Noah wasn't able to save humanity on his own. But there's 2 of us, and as long as we're together, I feel like there's no way we can fail.
それじゃあ行くよ。 アドベントの夜、私たちが初めてあのリンゴを食べた日に。
Can we really change fate? I feel like some dashing protagonist in a movie. Well, you know, unfortunately, you're a dashing protagonist in a visual novel, so, you know.
映画じゃないんだから失敗は許されないからね。それじゃせーの。
Well, you mean unlike a movie, there's more room for failure considering we can save scum. We're catapulted on an arrow shot by the angel Yude. Ow. I was trying not to sneeze, and then... yeah, everything hurts. We fly on wings of light back to where this all started, to alter the tides of time. Chapter 3, Part 1. Noah's Lost Ark. We're back, baby! Where am I? Realize I'm with Yune. I guess we're still here? Oh, never mind. That's right. We went back in time to the first Thanksgiving to take turkeys off the menu. Wait, wrong game. But where are we? And what day is it? And what day is it? Shoo, I know it's been like a whole stream, but like, don't you remember seeing the transition? It's literally said the 2nd of December. Could this actually be December 2nd? My mistake. It said... it is not, in fact, the 2nd of December. What game were you talking about? Okay. It's not a game. It's just a movie. It's called Freebirds, right? And the plot of the movie is that these two turkeys break into Area 51. It probably isn't anime. I mean, you're right, but it's a funny meme. I'm so tired, overwhelmingly exhausted, but overwhelming exhaustion washes over me. It only lasts for a moment. The next thing I know, I'm wide awake, and I leap out of bed. Oh crap. This isn't the time to laze around in bed. I remember everything that led to me being here. The town and burning. Well, I think, look, Shu, all I'm saying is that you can tell that you're back in time because the dove clock is back, baby. Alright? Kyrie hasn't destroyed it yet. It's not even evening yet. Did I read that last thing? Yep. Which means... hold on a sec. There's still a chance all of it was a dream. If only that were true. If only the raging fires and that bizarre purgatorial scene with Yune was simply a dream. What's the date? Oh, let's check this. Oh, that's right. My clock's busted. Just as I'm mourning my awful luck, I spot something in the corner of my room. Huh? Odd feeling creeps over me as I look back at the dove clock by my bed. I told you.
あれくらいで壊れる方も壊れる方だぞ。ほんのちょっとこう。
This is trippy because Shu is having a flashback of a future event.
今すごく嫌な音しましたけど。
My clock's fine? Well, yeah, it's the 3rd of December, before Kyrie destroyed your clock. But I could have sworn Kyrie accidentally broke it. I handed it over for repairs, so it shouldn't even be here. I pick it up to examine it, but it seems fine. It looks exactly as it did before it was broken, without so much as a scratch. Have you heard of Idiocracy? Yes, no, in what context are you bringing this up? Which means it really did send us back in time. It's the most natural explanation. I can't believe it. How that red apple bestowed on Yune was real after all. Holding my perfectly working clock in my hands only further convinces me of that. While I don't want to say I doubted her, it's still hard not to be shocked when faced with such an obvious miracle. Let's try it out, just to see what happens. The movie? We're talking about a turkey movie. Yes, I was talking about movie Freebird. What does Idiocracy have to do with... Hang on. Idiocracy. Yeah, I don't get it. I bopped the Dove clock and...
クック。ただいま、12月3日、月曜日、7時29分。
I mean... I guess they went back in time like... midnight? I don't know. I was just curious if you knew about it. Well, I have never heard the movie... of the movie, so... She did it. The space I find myself in, and the air itself feels so normal, that it's practically abnormal. There's no reason for me not to believe it. I must be feeling the same way. I need to talk to her about this right now. Just as I'm about to head out. She beat me to it. One sec, I'm coming. I rush over to open the door, assuming she must be in a similar mind state as me. Her hair is a mess of tangles and curls, like she'd literally just rolled out of bed. I guess it's morning already, huh? More importantly, did it, Yune? What a vague reply. It's probably a little too early to be congratulating ourselves. Somehow it worked. Check this out. The clock Kyrie accidentally broke is still in one piece. I'm sorry for doubting you. My formerly broken clock is the proof we need that Yune's time travel was successful. Yet, even when faced with such solid evidence, Yune still seems troubled. Yeah, but like, how do you know this isn't a simulation, right? Yune?
シュウが喜んでるのはわかるんだけど。
I mean, like, the next question is, how are you gonna stop what happens on December 25th? He hesitates before saying something truly bizarre.
何が成功したの?
What? That's what I'm saying. Her expression is completely neutral, her question exceedingly normal, yet completely bizarre. Doesn't seem to be joking around. There wouldn't be a reason for her to lie. We made it. 3rd of December. The 3rd of December, the morning directly after the Apple incident. Yune continuously nods in the face of my obvious bafflement. Okay, I forgot, right? At back the first time, right? She essentially did the same thing, right? Because her reasoning for coming here was like that they both forgot how they got back, right? I think that's what it was. So the reason for why she's so shocked is not because she knew that they went back in time. It's because she is just the same Yune as before, only now Shu remembers. Because of the green apple, I guess.
そうだね。3日だよ。
Which means a part of me is relieved, although I can't ignore the lingering look of confusion on her face.
シュウは昨日あの後に起こったことを知ってるの？
Last night?
だから私とシュウでリンゴを飾りに行って、それで。
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remembered the events just now. I forgot the main reason why she. I forgot that December 3rd, the first time she did this though.
2人でお願い事をしたら飾りが急に光り始めて。
Huh? A strong sense of deja vu grips me, and I quickly understand everything.
そしたら本物のリンゴが落ちてきて。
She's saying the same things as last time. The morning after the first time we ate those apples, we had made it back somehow. And after waking up, Yuna came barging into my room. Yeah, but I figured that out before you, so I'm better. Everything's playing out exactly as it did the first time. No wonder she doesn't understand me. The reality of the situation quickly dawns on me.
何か知ってるなら教えてほしいなって。私気づいたらベッドで寝てて、今起きたばっかりで。
I see. Most of what she said sounds very familiar. I have an idea about what's going on, but I need to test it first. You know, you sent us back through time to the specific date. You remember?
巻き戻それって映画の話？
Like in the girl who leapt through time, but it's not leapt through time because that'd be copyright. It was a different movie with a similar name. Looks like my theory is correct. I make a mental note. Got it.
本当？
Yeah, anyway, it's almost time for breakfast. Okay, I'm curious to know, I didn't know it was an actual movie. I mean, that's why I was confused, because it is an actual movie, right? I mean, I thought you were making a joke, and then I search it up, and then it's an actual, and then Idiocracy's an actual movie. But I'm curious if Shu will ever try to prove that they went back in time, because at this point, right? I'm talking about the girl who left through time. Oh, you're talking about that? You're talking about that movie? Of course, it's a real one. I forgot what I forgot what they called it. Hang on, I wonder if we're far enough. Yeah, no, wait, should be close enough to when he talked about it. Never heard of it. Oh, I think it's by the same guy that made your name? Makoto Shinkai? Something like that. Wait. Yeah, there's Anna. Alright. Talks about the girl. Wait. Yep. The girl who jumped through time, yeah. Like, they only changed the verb. Yeah, anyway, it's time for breakfast. Go on ahead. I'll meet you there. Like, what if Shu just said something to Yune that he would have zero idea of unless he came back to the past or something like that, right? That's usually how you prove that you came back from the past, right? I mean, you came back from the future. Ooh. With Yune gone, I'm left alone. After hearing her footsteps vanish into the distance, I vent my frustrations into my empty room. Why doesn't she remember anything? Because she didn't eat the green apple. It all makes sense now. She's completely forgotten everything from before the jump. And now I can't talk to her about anything. Maybe it'd be better just to think of her as the exact same Yune as she was before. In other words, her second chance doesn't come with her previous memories attached. Yes, but she's the FemC, so I think it would be more beneficial if you tried to prove that you actually did come back from the future, right? You went back in time via using the apples, right? Because she knows that the apples somehow became real, right? And like, yeah, a person's experiences change them fundamentally. Without those memories, she's doomed to repeat the same mistakes. But you can change these experiences. Crap. The only one of us who made it back successfully was me. We're the only two people alive who can save this town from its impending doom. Our plan sounded as good as in theory, but by its very nature, it was doomed to fail from the start. We won't be able to figure out anything now. I should have talked to her when I had the chance. There's still time to set things right, though. After all, despite Yune's memory loss, I made the jump back in time successfully. And I still remember everything that happened in all its gory detail. The person who initiates the time travel can't retain their memories, but at least I did. Well, yeah, because you ate the green apple. If I'd also forgotten everything, we really would be doomed to repeat our mistakes. My memories of the future intact, and a strong desire to change that cataclysmic outcome. We still have a chance. Every revolution had a couple unexpected bumps along the way. It's fine. I can do this on my own. There's a dark storm ahead, but I still remember the events leading up to it. If I play my cards right, I might be able to lead the town on a path away from total annihilation. It looks like I became Noah after all. Still, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Yune. I have to build the most magnificent arc I can to ensure her efforts were not in vain. Thank you for sending us back, Yune. I'll take it. I'll take it from here. The end of the world. Just like what happened 101 years ago. I refuse to accept our doomed fate the way it is, and vow to myself I will fight tooth and nail to do whatever I can before Christmas. Perhaps we'll be blessed by the real amazing grace. The real miracle starts here. Me.
やっと終わった。飯だ飯だ。
Look, at least his artwork will be better this time because he's got the muscle memory.
シュウ、大丈夫？
More or less. I'm struggling far less in my second period class compared to the seemingly insurmountable hurdles I faced the first time around. Sakuya should be joining us in a moment. My memories might be hazy, but I can still trace them well enough to remember what happens.
お邪魔します。一緒に帰りましょう、ヨネ先輩。
Just as I thought.
はーい。
You coming, Kyrie?
終わり。私琴音と一緒に帰るんだ。
Oh yeah, when we get to Kyrie's romance choice. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Okay. Everyone's actions, including Kyrie's response, follows the predestined script exactly. No one besides me knows how the script ends. They're all going through the same motions they did the first time, like NPCs in an RPG. Well, yeah, because you're the only one who can change the predetermined outcome. Can I change the course of events if I deviate from the script? Yes, you already did. You already showed that you could change the outcome by how Yune responded differently than the last time. Going through the scenario exactly the way I'm supposed to will only lead to the same outcome. Meanwhile, if I were to suddenly start tap dancing naked, the reactions of the people around me would set us off on a new path. Maybe, actually, you know what? Try that. See how the people will react, alright? It's art, is it not? You can make an argument for it. I'm not sure I want to do that, but I can at least try something else. Hey, Sakuya.
Huh?
She seems taken aback by my sudden question. How she'll react to the rest of what I have to say is a mystery to me as well. What should I do? I had to say something to break us out of the script, but I hadn't thought about what exactly.
どうしたの、二人とも。
Oh, right. Do you know what's on the menu for lunch? Why are you looking at me like that? Sakuya? He seems uncharacteristically dumbfounded. Although I'd been interested in seeing her reaction, I hadn't expected this.
はあ、すみません。いきなりで
Thus. But we're literally on our way to eat lunch. What happens if I get to a million berries? Like, is there a cap? No, there isn't a cap. Well, I'm definitely diverging from the predestined course of events. I didn't think it was that weird to me to bring that up.
いえ、そうではなく、シュウ先輩が急に近く感じたもので。
True. Because at this point in time, it would be about 2 weeks? 1 week. Since they first met. Oh, shoot. Yeah, but like, that's a good thing, right? If you act like you've been with them for a month, you know, it might diverge from the script. See, that's what threw her off. I guess I got a bit too careless. It's December 3rd, the very beginning of the Advent season, which means I've only known Sakuya for not even a week. That's what I'm saying.
確かに今の週はちょっとフレンドリーだったかも。
I was hoping to get closer to you, Sakuya, that's all. Hey, I'm reserving Sakuya for second last route. The adorable Sakuya I came to know over just under a month's time is not the same Sakuya I'm talking to now. I'm still the blasphemous outsider. She just met, who's a year older, and a boy. I have to dial back the familiarity, or else she'll get the wrong idea. I don't want Sakuya to end up hating me. I don't think she'll hate you. I have to be way more careful with how I talk to people from now on.
まあ、そんなこんなで昨夜はびっくりしたわけです。
Sorry, I guess I was a bit forward.
許してあげます。
So sweet that I don't think my little goof will adversely affect our friendship. Little sad. That time we shared together in the igloo. It's as if the memories I still hold from the previous timeline left gaping holes in my heart, now filled with emptiness.
でも昨夜結構嬉しそうだよ。そんなことないですもんだ。
It's as if the month we'd spent together had simply vanished for everyone but me. Our relationships back before they began. Very much so. Look, all I'm saying is that she wouldn't have invited you into the igloo if she wasn't comfortable around you. Okay? All those memories made over the course of 20 days are simply gone. Along with the emptiness, I also feel intense bitter disappointment. Sometimes that's just how she goes. There's still time to rebuild the bonds of our friendship. I hope so, at least.
じゃ、帰ろう。
Wait, but how did she become that comfortable with Shu in under a week? That's what I'm saying, right? How did if Sakuya wasn't that comfortable, it wasn't so comfortable with Shu that she would invite him into an igloo with only the two of them together, right next to each other, right? Like, you know, he needs to put two and two together is all I'm saying. Okay. Now, I decide to try my best to stick with the predetermined script, destined script. I'll have to make do with the vague memories I have.
それにしても寒いですね。12月なので当然ですけど。
That's the problem, though. I still don't have enough information. Right, like, there was that outlier memory that Shu had, where all of them were in the art gallery and they just kept calling him sensei, even though in the memory they were a year apart, right? Even Sakuya called him sensei. But, well, not even Sakuya, like, Yune called him sensei, right? Didn't get a chance to talk more about what happened, and Yune was clearly distracted all throughout our morning classes. it makes sense. We ate those apples without thinking about the consequences. But you know what the apples do. So, what if, you just, you know what happens when you eat the apple. Us eating those apples for the first time marked the critical trigger for our impending time travel. Although, on that initial fateful day, we still didn't know that yet.
先輩方？そうだよね。
Yep, uh-huh.
何も聞いてませんでしたね。
Well, I think God must have saw the future and chose to help them, right? I mean, God in the sense of how of when you think of God, you think of omnipotent, right? God probably foresaw that this place would be saved if Yune and Shu went back in time to the 2nd of December and bootstrap theory. We're both noticeably on edge, exactly as we were the first time around. Seems like no matter what I do, I can't actually change anything around me. Then how would you explain the character routes? Fair. But I haven't gotten to the character routes yet, so how would I be able to explain something that it basically doesn't exist yet? Seems like no matter what I do, I can't actually change anything around me. We're still right on course toward the end of the world. I just have to do a better job of acting in character for how everyone expects me to be right now. Still, it's impossible for me to remember the minute details of every interaction and conversation. I don't think a few changes here and there will make that much of a difference, but I'd like to avoid changing things for the worse if possible.
二人ともどこか上の空です。悪いものでも食べましたか？
Look, all I'm saying that I don't think Shu succeeds the first time around, right? Because that would be unrealistic, right? How would he be able to figure out how to stop the end of the world by only going back in time once, right? So, my thinking is this is not the first time he's gone back in time, right? Or something like that, right? This is solely based on the memory that he had with all of the girls in the art gallery, right? That's the only theory I could come up with, is that this isn't the first time he's gone back in time. This is just the first time he's remembered going back in time, right? Or something like that. Yeah. Something bad.
食べたかもしれない。
Here we go. This is where we split up. Sakuya heads off on her own, and Yune and I head back to the tree. Like, what if Shu had the power to go back in time, right? On December 25th, like the first time. And he went back to essentially what is the start of the game, right? And now he's gained the memories of the first loop, something like that. He just hasn't unlocked them or something. This is the problem, right? You asked theories, and this is my crack pipe theory that I came up with on the spot. So we split up, Sakuya heads off. on her own, and Yune and I head back to the tree.
昨夜悪いんだけど先に帰ってもらってもいい？
And I once again find ourselves under the tree, just as intended, or rather, as planned, right? Because my thinking that, you know, Yune forgot that she went back in time, so who forgot that he went back in time? I need to stop cooking. Am I on the right track? Dexter, you played the game, am I? Well, I've only done Kyrie's after story. I didn't even anyone else's. Right. Oh, really? Okay. Never mind then. You know, I once again find ourselves under the tree just as intended. I
ねえシュウ。シュウは朝に言ってたよね。何が起こったのか知ってるって。
I wasn't expecting this. This conversation is a direct result of my own unexpected words this morning. I'm not sure about that. It feels like something else. I could very easily answer her question. I could tell her that what those twin apples stand for, what they mean specifically, and what I'm doing here. Like, the only thing that my theory falls apart, the only reason my theory falls apart is that how would you have gotten the power to turn back time, right? Feeling dead, and yet I need to jog my sleep. But happy National Cupcake Lovers Day. Can't have a chill stream stranger, right? Hello, meow. She wouldn't believe me, but perhaps knowing will convince her to work together with me. I don't care if she thinks it's ludicrous. If I tell her the truth, I know she'll believe it, at least 10% of it. I know, because that's the type of person she is. Okay, thank God he isn't trying to hide it. So, about those apples, that I begin explaining how we got here. That's the gist of it. After hearing everything, Yune stares silently at the ground, lost in thought. It's very similar to how we found ourselves the first time around.
シュウ、それって。
I know. As I try to think of something I can say to comfort her.
それってやっぱり時を巡るアンナ？
I mean, like, I know what you expected, Shu. She's a big fan of the movie. Huh?
アンナの話だよね。今朝シュウがそれっぽいこと言ってた時から気になってたんだ。
Her expression instantly brightens. This be the reaction I need.
私も実はアンナが大好きなの。でも知らなかったシュウも好きなんて。もしかして外で見たりとか？
That's what I was about to get to. Because she thinks of the movie plot, right? She doesn't believe him. Heck do I say? Even after explaining everything, her original memories are still long gone. But what you can say is that, no, I watched the movie for the first time on December 24th. Right?
でも青リンゴが出てくるシーンなんてなかったよね。もしかしてアンナがモチーフの別の映画？
I'm well aware of the movie, but I'm not talking about that. You react to my story as if it were merely describing the movie. Considering how I just arrived, she's probably just delighted to have a common interest. what I'm trying to talk about, that is the apples we ate yesterday.
へえ、嘘だ。そんな映画みたいなこと実際に起こるわけないよ。それよりさ、シュウもアンナが好きなら一緒に語ろう。私も昔から大好きで。
Oh, yeah? After all that, instead of triggering Yune's forgotten memories, I feel more disillusioned than ever, like I'm trapped in a nightmare. Oddly enough, the movie somehow describes our situation to a T. The more I struggle to tell the truth, the more ridiculous it sounds. This is why you should have proven that you've gone back in time by essentially bringing up a future event, and then when that happens, you're like, yeah, I told you it would happen, or something like that. Whew. After spending all afternoon discussing the movie with Yune, I finally returned to my room. I made several attempts to convince her of the truth, but ultimately had to give up because I thought I'd gone bonkers. If we could somehow avoid the seemingly inevitable, then so be it. Nothing's unraveling yet, so far as I can tell. Seems more natural that way. I'm the only one living with the knowledge of the dark fate awaiting us. I'm sorry, Yune. If only we could avoid that tragic ending. If only Yune could be allowed to live happily ever after, like she wished for. Actually, okay. Dexter, how long was Kyrie's after story? The next day, the first Tuesday since I arrived here, which means it's gym class. It snowed just like Yune said it would. Just literally tells us we're free to use the time we want.
おはようございます。皆さん。今日は体育の予定でしたが、雪が積もりましたので。
Yeah, so like, see, this is even more proof that Sakuya was never uncomfortable with Shu, because literally the next day after, literally the next day, as in today, Sakuya and Shu sit right next to each other in an igloo. Unless the CG doesn't happen this time.
とします。
Like the first time. Now what should I do? Yeah, now what should I do? I can't just keep following the script the way it's written. My goal above all else is to somehow change the town's predestined future. I need to find out what the initial trigger is. Gym class is cancelled. I'm free to spend the hour how I want. I can't waste this. I could figure out the source for the fires or plan next evacuation route. I knew it was gonna happen again. I couldn't not show Sakuya's best CG at the moment. It sure is. I'll let the scene play out as the first time while I come up with a plan of action. Thanks. It's rare for me to get a chance to spend some time alone with Sakuya. I still remember this day like it was yesterday. It's such a seemingly trivial moment in time, and yet it means so much to me. Yeah, it meant so much that there's a CG for it. I have to be careful. What I say. I don't want to destroy my relationship with everyone. The bonds I built with everyone up until Christmas. All of that was reset with the town's ultimate demise. if I want to reforge them with everyone, all I need to do is stick to the script. Well, considering that when he diverged from the script, his relationship with Yune has strengthened more than the first time around, so like, you know. I have the length of the common round, 9 hours. But that means I have dragged this out for 2. Did it all by yourself?
ギドウ先輩に手伝ってもらいました。
Like if you add up all of the hours in the VODs, right? I have definitely passed like what, 18 hours. That means it's very important for me to remember how this goes. Although slight deviations shouldn't matter in the long run. I can't get yesterday's incident out of my mind. I can't act too familiar. It's only been a week since we met for the first time. Yeah, but like, how are you not going to be able to... How are you telling me that you can't act too familiar, when you're literally sitting right next to each other? That might be until the Kyrie choice. Right. That is what it means by common route, so... I have to strike the perfect balance between not acting overly friendly, while also acting just friendly enough. It's hard acting naturally whilst simultaneously keeping all that in mind.
先輩、どうしました？
Oh, it's nothing. Ito made some sort of snow golem, didn't he?
今ちょうどその話をしようとしてたところなんですが、あれ？
Crap. I had been so focused on the script in my head that I read the next line before it happened. This is hard. Almost too hard. If I flub this up, we won't be as close as we were before, and I don't want that. Sorry. Actually, I saw him building it earlier.
なんだ、そうだったんですね。
The best part about this, that Saki is a lot louder than the first time. There are shorter routes I have to do first, I think. But, okay. Now, thanks to my ridiculous mistake, I no longer know what Saki is going to say. I had to recheck. Well, yeah, there's the non-romantic endings for the characters. That's what you have to go through first. Perhaps it's for the best. Our conversation will flow more naturally. In the end, we're able to share a peaceful moment together. If I remember correctly, I went to check on Yune's rehearsal session next. No, guide. You do Kyrie's romance route first. Oh, right. I remember that. This was before I offered to help play the organ for her. Oh, wait. I was hoping Yune might be here.
ユネか。ユネは普段チャペルにいるけど、今日は外で見かけたな。
Why is she outside? Actually, while on the hunt for the elusive Yune, I end up running into Yuji in the atelier. In the interest of not causing some kind of butterfly effect, I should just follow the script for now. Yeah, but you've already broken from the script when you told Yune that... When you talked to Yune about the girl who jumped through time. I can't forget about my original goal, but my friendships are equally important to me too. I'll switch things up later. Then, as if pretending this is my first read-through, I let Yuji tell me where Yune is. I find Yune practicing and re-establish the same friendship we had the first time. Well, not like your re-established friendship is not stronger because you talked about the girl who jumped through time with her.